Welcome to NFL News with Sylvester. Behind the desk is your co-host, Sylvester. Well, Sylvester, we had the good news with our CEO B Bunny regarding cable television, and Sylvester's like, well, I don't really have much of a budget on Sports News Review, and as far as going out, I still have my pension from Warner Brothers, and of course, the Coach Coyote and CEO B Bunny also have a pension from Warner Brothers back in the day, and we practically, of course, Sylvester. These guys made Warner Brothers what they are. I mean, let's face facts here. For the modern world, like me, I only thought when I was young, I always thought Warner Brothers, and I thought you guys. So yeah, so we're all good, and it's like we said earlier. It's we're came on board the sports news. Sylvester saying that he came on board for Sports News Review, not for the money and the perks, because there wasn't many. That he knew that from the word go. But yeah, it was one of those deals where you didn't want to lose the cable. Here's our mouse. Of course, Sylvester should always have a mouse near him. He's a different cat nowadays. He doesn't change. There's no, that was the script back in the day where Sylvester was forced to follow the script and chase a cat. He didn't want to chase cats. Sylvester's a super friendly cat, and he's good friends with Tweety. I have Tweety, but I just I well, I guess Tweety and Felix get along really well, and you know what? We'll find Tweety a spot on Sports News Review, and maybe Tweety will. Hey, Sylvester, you mind if Tweety just sits on your desk over here? I'm just pointing at the desk, Sylvester. I'm not pointing at you at all. Maybe Tweety could sit right here, and Sylvester and Tweety are brothers, and nowadays. That's all script. That's all stuff from the script he was forced to do back in the day, and he's all happy because it got him a pension, and that's the most important thing in life. Sylvester saying is getting a pension, and yeah, even for us humans, also that's the most important thing in life is just having a pension. I mean, that's what separates us from being not a well-developed country should have pensions for their elderly folk that don't. We can't. Let's not get into a philosophical thing, but like, Sylvester and Coach Coyote and B Bunny can have a pension from Warner Brothers. Well, why can't us humans have one of a pension period? It's the same. Like, Sylvester is still a cat about town. I mean, he doesn't go out as much, but he could afford to. He could afford to go out once in a while and cat about town, as they say, and even. Man, I like to be at the bar with Sylvester when he's springing. Sylvester, you're buying the first drinks. Okay. All right, let's get back to our regularly scheduled programming because we're all happy. And as far as cable goes, NFL news, we really didn't get anything off the NFL news. But Sylvester would like to come back to his room and turn on the telly and he's a plug and play kind of cat. Also, he likes to just see the cable television. We're all elderly. We love our cable TV. Even the Munchie brothers. What is it? Even Felix, our youngest one, says, "You know what? I don't care. Of all of us, Felix is the youngest one, and He's the only one that could have been fine with cable, but everyone else, we're at an age." We love our cable television. No ifs, ands, or buts. I want my cable TV, and that's that, and I don't care. I'd rather do without a lot of things in life, but I'm not giving up my cable TV. I'm trying my darndest. I hope it all works out that we still can keep cable TV because I love cable TV, and I'll admit it. And like I said, I'm older. And, well, Sylvester's actually older. You know, Sylvester's, I think, I should look up what year. Well, either way. Well, B Bunny's the oldest. He's the oldest in our group. And second is Coach Coyote. And then followed by, it's either Sylvester and I, depending what year, I forget what year Sylvester was first created. And then after that, it's Ernie, and then the Munchie brothers, and then Felix. Yeah. Oh, and there. Oh yeah. In between Felix is the donkey, which we hardly show anymore. He's kind of like our. He's like our version of Happy Days, having Chuck, the older brother. He was on one season on Happy Days, on the original Happy Days. Remember that, Sylvester? Chuck on Happy Days, the older brother, and you never seen him after that. That's like our, it's like our donkey. we called him. We, you know, he. I thought his name was Pedro, but actually he said, no, my name is Dominic the Christmas Donkey. And I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know that, never heard of that, but cool. Okay, so we'll get back to our regular schedule of programming now with NFL news with Sylvester. And I can't stop being so happy right now, Sylvester. And look at Sylvester, you got that nice smile too. You're all happy that, well, if he takes off tonight, he comes back and he's going to be able to watch cable. He says he doesn't want to deal with this. I have to work for my entertainment at night. I go, I can't do that. I'm not young. I go, I know, we're not young. We just don't want to work for our entertainment. We have to search the internet for entertainment or whatever channels we can catch over the air. Yikes. We're old. Okay, so with that, okay, we'll start with this is going to be unscripted because I didn't, well, Sylvester, I didn't have a chance to plug in the newer tablet, and it went down to 0%. It's up to 17 now, and I need that for tomorrow's program, Sylvester, which is the World Sports News with Ernie, and that one needs a script. I need a script, even though I go off script a lot, and we're not scripted on this show. We just got the other tablet, which I'll show real quickly here. This is the first tablet. So I'm just going to look off the tablet, and I'm going to just look off the tablet. I'm not going to, like I said, I would have done a script for NFL News with Sylvester, but then we had so many things like I said, we had the good news from COB Bunny, and we had to wait for COB Bunny to put on his Santa Claus suit, and you know, you got meetings and all that, and so then COB, we had to do a important, you know, we had to do a video, a message from COB Bunny, and you know, you do a couple of believe it or not, you do a couple of retakes, and sometimes, and it's like, well, it's different when it's a live stream. You're not worried. This is almost like a live stream. How do you say it? Like a recorded live stream. If this is almost like a recorded live stream, and oh yeah, the new carpet. Yeah, Sylvester. You did you get a chance? Well, I what I did was I got another towel, as they say, and the brown towel just didn't match the color of the background. Oh my gosh, your background! I totally forgot. We budgeted for it and we forgot. Oh my gosh! I just, you know, Sylvester, you know. Even Sylvester didn't even notice because we're late and everything like that. But we were supposed to spread this out behind Sylvester, and you know, I just you know, let's. So you know, it should have looked like this behind Sylvester. Let's see if Sylvester. Let's see what it looked like behind you. it was supposed to be like this behind Sylvester. It takes a while to spread it out. It is like I'm getting old, Sylvester, and I'm the only person that's, I'm producer, writer, and researcher, voiceovers, some, and well, everybody else is just a presenter, and they get the, and there's only two. No, I could have got CEO B Bunny to help, but he's done so much for us. I wanted to give him a break too. And it's just one of those deals. Well, the next Sylvester, the next time we do NFL news with Sylvester or NFL scores with Sylvester, we'll put the different backdrop up. I don't think Sylvester's like, he's like, just don't worry about it. Let's just get on with the show. And you are correct, Sylvester. Let's get on with the show. Okay, so NFL news with Sylvester, and I already mentioned that Sylvester is the one behind the SNR microphone, which I kind of put on a different angle. I like it better when it's on. Okay, so picky, hey Sylvester. I mean, who's more finicky? Sylvester or I? I think I am more finicky than Sylvester when it comes. Sylvester is less finicky, and he's a cat. and of course, remember, Sylvester is not a pet, quote unquote. Sylvester is part of Sports News Review, like everyone else is part of Sports News Review. Coach Coyote is not a pet. He is a member. We're all family, and like I said, even like Sylvester and Coach Coyote, that's all scripted. Coach Coyote will tell you that was all scripted. He'll tell you he didn't go after B Bunny back in the day. It was just all scripted. I mean, if we find a road, if I can get I don't know, if I find a road runner, plush toy, if Sylvester says Coach Coyote says he's fine with Roadrunner that's all scripted. It's Roadrunner. He has to do more. It's hard. We have to really pay for Roadrunner. He didn't get a really good pension, as good as Coach Coyote. Coach Coyote ended up doing a lot of extras. And like he was working with COB Bunny. I remember when besides the actual show, where you look at it, the Roadrunner, he's only on the Roadrunner. That's it. Whereas Coach Coyote did other stuff too, and so he got a better pension from Warner Brothers. So once again, we'll start the show one more time. Okay, sorry, Sylvester. Okay, discussing. It is kind of relevant to discuss these guys having a pension, because the people could be saying, "Hey, how can you afford these? Even though how can you afford them?" Well, they're retirees and they have their own pension, and I was only giving them perks here and there. And the main thing was cable. I didn't realize it, but cable television was the super perk that we all wanted. Okay, so we'll start the show with the news, as I say, with Sylvester, and the NFL news with Sylvester, and we'll start with the Thursday night. Monday night football game. My gosh, it's Tuesday night. Sylvester, I'm getting old and exhausted. I'm just old and exhausted. Okay, that's me. Okay, so Thursday night football. Houston Texans at the Dallas Cowboys, and Houston Texans 34. This is the final score. Houston Texans 34 and Dallas Cowboys 10. Now the game was a little strange. Well, we got time. We'll do some commentary a la Coach Coyote style, where Sylvester Sylvester watched the game at a bar, drinking establishment, and I wish I was there, but I can't make it. Sylvester can spring for his own cab, and I can't. I can't. He buys the first round, and after that, I'm like, oh boy, I can't buy the second round, and like that's no good. Well, and I'm like, I can't even drink that much alcohol like I used to, anyways. And I really don't want to be sitting around. Well, I don't. I just don't want to be sitting around the bar too. I can't do that either. And get back home and this and that. And, oh my gosh! I'd rather just stay at home. But Sylvester still has the energy, the youthful energy, to go out there, and he watched it at the bar, but it came a little earlier than usual because the game. He said, "Well, it just got out of hand, and the crowd was thinning out, and so Houston. It was kind of odd, but Sylvester saying that C.J. Stroud was uh practice. The way Dallas season is right at this moment. Like anyway, it was the perfect. Sylvester. I said that also on my. This is Sylvester told me this in the meetings earlier today that. Like, it was like as if it was practice, good practice for Houston, good timing for Houston Texans to get a team like Dallas, who ends up with the Dak Prescott injury, and now they have to use second string, and I'm like, wow, Sylvester, that's what I said. And funny thing is that Sylvester didn't see my program but we're on the same page. After all, Sylvester knows football. Just because he's a presenter doesn't mean he doesn't know football. Sylvester knows his NFL football. Sylvester's been in. I'll say that anyone that happens to be coming across this channel, Sylvester knows more football than you cats out there. Okay, Sylvester, he knows more football than me because he's been watching NFL football before I was watching NFL football. I think you're older than me. Well, either way, I can't remember. Either way, I think Sylvester's a few years older than me. I can't remember how much right now. But yeah, so he was watching NFL football before I was watching NFL football. So yeah, I trust Sylvester's comments and so he was. We're on the same page on that one. Where, like I said, Houston came at the correct time and moment to have like a pretty well. It's like it was like as if this is what Sylvester said at the meeting. It was like as if Houston was playing a preseason game versus the Dallas Cowboys, who decided to sit Dak Prescott out, and it's like, well, it could be dangerous, but let's keep C.J. Stroud in the third quarter because give him more practice, being that it's only his second year, and that's I said, Sylvester, that is a good analogy. That's something like Coach Coyote would come up with. It was like as if Houston was playing a preseason game versus the Dallas Cowboys playing a preseason game with Dak Prescott going, we better sit this one out for Dak because the real season's coming up. But meanwhile, it's pretty well the season's over for Dallas, I guess. So we'll see from there. But okay, so we'll go on to our next. Actually, our first news, sports NFL news story or news item, because the first is just the score. It was just the score and comments. And Sylvester, we meeting. Sylvester is like, oh, breaking news, and since we were gonna do NFL news with Sylvester, we didn't need to do NFL breaking news with Sylvester, as in like the New York Jets have released the head coach. And now I'll look up the particulars to give it just. Head coach, sorry, they already did that one. General manager. See, Sylvester, I'm getting old, and Sylvester's going, general manager, weren't you at the meeting? I go, yeah, I was at the meeting. I know, Sylvester, I was at the meeting, but I almost called you Coach Coyote, too. it's getting a time right now where I just want to lie down and watch the any bowl game that's on right now. I think it's supposed to be some big bowl game happening, but I know if it's 100% that game is on the NFL Network, but I'm hoping that it's just not a bowl game. I made a mistake. See, Sylvester, I'm at the meeting, and it was all at the meeting, and I still messed it up. Okay, so the New York Jets have the general manager released the New York Jets. The organization, the management organization, has let go the as they say, released of his duties. The I don't we don't like to use the words FIRE on Sports News Review. We like keep things nice and calm, Not, there's no need to. He was just released of his general manager duties. It's a nice way to put it because there's people with we could get into the whole thing and like what. Okay, let's start off with it. Let's first off. First thing I'm gonna do, Sylvester, is because I don't have a script for you to read. I'm gonna have to just. Sylvester saying I understand. I totally understand. A lot of things happened today. Budget meetings with CEO B Bunny and then this came up, and he decided, go with the NFL news with Sylvester instead of just breaking news. And well, we've done it, and we're stuck with it now. We could have just did NFL breaking news, and we could have just ended it here, discussed the whole situation in New York Jets. But no, I decided to do the news too. Okay, so the first thing is we're going to. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna put New York Jets. Of course, it's weird how it just comes up real quick, and hit the news section. New York Jets, the news section. Okay, so there's a lot of them always say. A lot of them always see like they're looking at all the story, and of course the New York. The New York media, they're gonna say like FIRE. We're not competitive. We're not the New York media. We're just a down and home. Like I say, just we just like our quiet way of doing things, not so over the top and. We're not looking for as they say, our version of ratings would be the, okay, so like our version of ratings would be views, and I've said it from the word go. I don't care about how many views. I'll just do it for myself, do it for fun. I have a lot of fun doing it. Especially, I know it sounds I'm gonna make Sylvester just kind of go, oh, geez, we don't need a bucket for me to hurl in when I say, well, I just have fun doing it with the gang, the sports news review family. Okay, alrighty, okay, so then let's see, let's just go on. Okay, so let's just go. I'm just going to go on NFL.com, read it to myself, Sylvester, and oh my gosh, I better make sure that the volume is down in case the video starts all out of nowhere. The video starts going on or some advertisement. But NFL.com doesn't have advertising that does that. But if the video goes on, I don't want the sound to come on. I'm just reading the okay. Okay, so they call them gangrene. Now, Sylvester, I'm saying gangrene is the players, not management. The gangrene. See, that's I'm one of those who want to go. Gangrene is the players that are on the field, not the management. as in coaches, owners, and well, then you gotta say, what about the trainers? They do so much for, like, as and of course all the. I suppose if they want to call themselves gang, but then you can add whoever you want. It's like the Stanley Cup. You can add whoever name. They should have just had players only from the word go. Players only. Players only on the Stanley Cup. No coaches. No, like, oh, this, like, oh, when it comes close to if your team is really good in the NHL, you might as well put somebody, they can put their name on the cup by, they're the second assistant general manager to the assistant, and they are the name on the cup. Should have just had players only. I'm just saying, like, I'm that kind of person. I don't like when people get extra credit for things that, like, come on. I always thought of that. Okay, so I always started saying the words "gang green" back back whenever, and I was watching football, and they called themselves "gang green," which they tried to find a moniker in the '80s, and I remember it was back in the day the Philadelphia Eagles were gonna they were trying to go with, this is the '80s, and the Philadelphia Eagles were thinking of, the Broad Street Bullies. I'm like, well. That's not football. That's hockey. Sorry, folks. The NHL hockey team, the Philadelphia Flyers, they got that moniker, the Broad Street Bullies. They won 2 Stanley Cups, so you can't take that and apply it to another Philadelphia sports team. I don't like the word bullies anymore anyway. I don't even like the word bully anyways, but I don't watch NHL, and that's neither here or there. So, but anyways, I'm just saying, like, okay. So I didn't realize it's 42 days. Okay, you got the owner, Woody Johnson. With the we have just released Robert Saleh of his head coaching duties. And then, it didn't really boost the morale of the New York Jets. They lost to Greek. That was one of those deals, of course. This is the commentary section of the news portion. And I'm like, did they really need... I don't think Robert Saleh was the problem in New York. And I'm not going to blame players and all that. I'm not getting into that. But it wasn't the head coach. It was not the head coach. I mean, it was just a combination of a lot of things. And then it was like a quote from the owner. Well, actually, it's just it's a quote in a statement from, it's Woody Johnson. I'm not sure if his name was Woodrow Johnson, but I'm just Woody Johnson. It's Wendy. Let's see. I'm just seeing if did they put his name in here in this article, or did they call him Woody? I don't know. I guess. Yeah, they say Woody Johnson. Like, I guess he doesn't want to be referred to as Woodrow, and that's his prerogative in life, which is fine with me. But I'm guessing his name is Woodrow Johnson. Okay. Whatever. Okay. Woody Johnson. Okay, so then, here's a quote. It's like, today I informed Joe Douglas he will no longer serve as the general manager of the New York Jets. And it's the usual, I want to thank Joe for his commitment to the Jets. Oh, please, spare us. Aren't you glad, Sylvester, that Sports News Review is not a New York Jets live stream? I could have been a New York Jets fan back in the 80s. I was really liking the Jets back in the day, like pre-Buffalo Bills, but when I started switching in '86 to the Buffalo Bills, and I liked those years. Those were fun years to be a Jets fan. I mean, there wasn't really much on-field success, but with Mark Gastineau, and they call it the sack. Was it the sack? No, the I forget. I forget. Like the four defensive line the four defensive line players. There was Mark Gastineau, Joe Klecko. Those are two. Yeah, Mark Gastineau. They didn't really. I don't think they. I don't know how much of a Mark Gastineau is push is there for him to be in the Hall of Fame, but I'm not sure. I never looked up if Mark Gastineau was ever in the Hall of Fame, but I know Joe Klecko is in the Hall of Fame, which he played hurt, unfortunately. There's a whole story with Joe Klecko, and he played hurt. It was a different era back then. It was, well, why would you do that? Play hurt. He wouldn't even practice. And one time when he was hurt, Sylvester, you remember that back in the day when Joe Klecko played with a didn't practice all week one season, like for I forget how many games, where he'd go in a cast and then take the cast off on a Saturday to play on Sunday, and then go back in the cast. So yeah, there was, it's just the life was then. If you got a major injury back in those days, yeah, you're not yeah. Let's just say there's no miraculous surgery like in today's world of Aaron Rodgers getting that surgery for his Achilles tendon. I mean, at his advanced age, he got surgery that you couldn't even dream of in the 80s, and he recovered from it. But we gets down to it, you find out, like, you could be young at heart, want to play so bad. I understand, but age catches up, and that's that. And I feel I don't want to say it, but I guess it's could be true, Sylvester, where maybe age did catch up with Aaron Rodgers, and it just didn't work out. I did the live stream where Aaron Rodgers in the fifth play, you could say, he was 4 snaps. Was it the 4th snap? I can't remember at this moment, but where Aaron Rodgers. Oh, I'm looking for my refreshment. Okay, I'm gonna have to hit pause maybe and get my refreshment. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm saying that it was just you come back from that injury. Seemed like it was going to be okay. Everything was going to be fine, and then it's like it didn't work out this season, and then it's hard to. They say it's always hard to release players to send a message, because where do you get the player from? You mean like releasing you got to take it out on some practice squad player saying, you see, if you don't do better, this is what happens to you. Like, what's that gonna do? Ever been on a team just go whatever? Like yeah, okay. Like, we don't know that. We're all professionals. We understand that. Like, just because we have these contracts, it doesn't mean anything, because when the contract is up, we're looking. We could be looking for another team, and if they know the score, and so they send a message saying, well, we're going to release our head coach, Robert Salah, because other teams have tried to release minor coaches, but like lower than the head coach, and that didn't do anything. People could see right through that. It's like that. It was. So then you find out, it wasn't Robert Salah after all. So now it's like, well, let's they're gonna do a complete rebuild, and it could be just a way of the owner can be like, this is just my opinion, Sylvester. It's not of the Sports News Review. This is my own personal opinion that, well, the owner, Woody Johnson, it's an easy way to, get Aaron Rodgers to retire on his own without asking him to. I don't think I understand if you don't have it. Like you know, like Woody Johnson owns a football organization called the New York Jets. Now, you can't own a corporation like the New York Jets and it football, as I say, NFL football at that high caliber. You can't, you know, you 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 can't just have people around because you know to friends and you feel bad for them. It happens. They're well compensated, as in like compared to the rest of the world outside the NFL world, like head coaches and general managers, and of course high play like the high players. And like I said, Sylvester, a person like me, I'd be okay with just 3 seasons in today's NFL world of what $1 million each season, three. Stay out of everybody's way. Don't go out. Don't get suckered in and paying for how you say paying for the team and then here you go. The rookie mistake of going with the team to the like if I was like hardly anybody on the team. Yeah, don't go to the restaurants and that you're paying for everyone's lunch and dinner, whatever it is, and it adds up after. And it's like I know $1 million is $1 million, but it's just a cruel world out there. And yeah, you just stay low, just like I can't go, just stay low. And if you're not gonna be able to, you don't know what kind of career you're gonna have in the NFL, and you. Outside of the NFL, you don't know what you're going to be doing. A person like me, like I wouldn't even know after the NFL career is over. I'm like, well, $3 million. I can live off of $3 million. You know what I mean? That's good enough for the rest of my life. And anyway, so like, I mean, you can't. I understand, but there is a side also where. Was it Woody Johnson's idea to bring Aaron Rodgers? Now this is a different category than if Aaron Rodgers was just a rookie quarterback that didn't work out. That's a total different thing. This when it's an Aaron Rodgers veteran that is going to probably dictate terms on how he joins the New York Jets. This is not a person that's looking for employment in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers before this season, and especially before last season, if a team didn't have a quarterback, there's Aaron. Okay, we'll give it a try. Here, you want a 1-year contract? Yeah, sure. We'll throw money at your guaranteed money at your situation, and but that kind of needs approval of the owner when it comes to something like that, and that's how do you say that's Woody Johnson, who I'm saying this that. Do I know it's 100% fact? No. I can't say that, Sylvester. It's 100% fact. But that's the whole point of being just, like a spontaneous NFL news with Sylvester kind of deal where I gotta just say what I feel like. It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't harm anybody because we could. Sylvester, if we turn on the AM radio, nighttime, you can catch. It can catch even in Ontario. You can catch the Fan 6660. I know you can probably get it on internet. It's not the same feeling, Sylvester. I love being able to catch it on the radio itself. Tuning to the 66 dial on the AM 660. Is it 666 or no 660? Well, yeah, there's no, yeah, it's AM 60 is 660. Yeah, because there's no six. It's either 650, six 650. Yeah, so catching the New York radio station, WFAN, and there's people that are calling in the same thing I'm saying is that it's without proof, of course. It's this has to have Woody, the owner, Woody Johnson's blessing for Aaron Rodgers to come in and like, and, you dictate whatever terms you want. We could. No, I'm not gonna get into did Aaron Rodgers cause the release of Robert Salah in the beginning? No, I don't know that. I'm not gonna even speculate that. But I'm just gonna speculate on things I feel that like could be true. And that's a plausible, as you say, more plausible than just hearsay and all that. Like, but when it comes to like as far as wanting, say, receivers and whatever personnel that Aaron Rodgers felt comfortable with, yeah, he had a lot of say in that. I mean, even though he's only a quote unquote just a quarterback for the team leader is his quarterback. Usually, the starting string quarterback is usually the team leader because they're calling the plays, and well, now we get into like, oh my gosh, we didn't even mention his name, and that's the part that's like of all this. We even forgot to mention because Joe Douglas. See, we live in our own world. Sometimes we live in our own NFL world, and if I would have been done as a script, Sylvester, I would have had it like, the script would have been written out where it's like Joe Douglas and now going with Joe Douglas and where he came from and now I could just all look that up now and okay, and then it just says that Douglas was in the final year of his contract. Okay, now that's another thing too is that if you're in the final year of your contract, Joe Douglas, and it's like they're gonna. It's going to be a complete reboot, rebuild, retooling of the New York Jets this offseason. And as far as they're concerned, it starts right now. And Aaron Rodgers is adult enough to know that, like, I'm just saying, Sylvester, that even if Aaron Rodgers has no idea that general manager, especially a general manager, is going to be released. I mean, like, that's definitely not a problem with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, probably Joe Douglas did whatever Aaron Rodgers wanted, anyways. Who knows? I don't know. So I don't think that was a problem. But Mr. Woodrow Johnson, Woody Johnson, owns $1 billion corporation, as in the New York Jets. And, I mean, is he friends with Aaron Rodgers? Sure. Do they have a good relationship? Sure. But we're talking, like, a fan base that could be peeved off. And you really don't want to see empty seats at a New York Jets game. That just looks horrible. That you don't want to see that. So of course it's like, if just saying this is just out there for whatever reason, that if Woody Johnson really wants a 100% rebuild, then it's like, well, Aaron, and Aaron knows this. Well, are we going in the next general manager will determine what direction they're going to go in? Are they going to try to keep the status quo with the new general manager? Because they said it was an interim general manager, and as far as I'm concerned, the word interim for this season will mean full time next season if it's to keeping the status quo, meaning that this is good. This will make New York Jets fans in New York City. I'm talking New York City and environs around the New York area. Laugh when I've heard this one saying that, like, does Aaron Rodgers call the shots? I don't know. I'm not gonna say that. Does he have a say? Sure. I totally would respect Aaron Rodgers' opinion on anything. Maybe, like if I'm the owner of the New York, whatever football organization in the NFL, and I have someone like Aaron Rodgers on my team, and that's like even back in the day with Tom Brady, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Did he call some of the shots? Possibly. If I was owner of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, do I listen to Tom Brady? Sure. Why don't I listen to Tom Brady? And ask the Buccaneers now, would you do it all over again for one Super Bowl with Tom Brady? Yes, I would. This worked out great. And, and like I said, now, going back to that, now, if, this is such a weird thing where there's the big decision, off-season decision is going to be on the New York Jets. Is going to be, where does Aaron Rodgers want to do? What does he want to do? And that's when he's going to have to put forward. It's not that it is up to Aaron Rodgers to come forward and say what I, as in Aaron Rodgers, feels like doing next season. Like playing for the New York Jets or retiring, or maybe gets a phone call from his agent saying, another team wants to try this out again, try it out with, who knows. But like I said, it's about the fan base too. You have to consider that's a very fickle New York fan base that if they just think that Aaron Rodgers and Woody Johnson are palsy-walsy to the point of like, let's just do this over again, because even if Woody Johnson doesn't have his heart in it, but he doesn't want to let down his palsy-walsy, which is Aaron Rodgers. Come on, really? No, it doesn't work. You want to see empty seats? That's embarrassing. You don't want to see empty seats. No shows. I mean, the season they're sold, okay? And it's not going to be that they're, like, the tickets are sold out already. But it's a matter of, like, people showing up, because the season ticket holders will just go, I'm going to go next year. I already committed this year. And they're going to put their tickets on what they call the stub hubs and all that. And what if there's no takers? And because it's like, you know what? I really don't want to spend, it's Christmas time. And do I really want to? I mean, we have to consider all these factors, because New York Jets do not play in a dome. Mucho mistake they made. And something they probably regretted was not building a dome. And the next phase of a New York Jet and New York Giant collaboration is a domed stadium, so they don't have an issue with fans not showing up. It's not about the tickets being sold. They're already sold in a large metropolitan area like New York. Those tickets were already sold. It's just a matter of, like, do you really want the cameras to show empty seats? And it just hurts the owners to see empty seats, even though the tickets are sold. It hurts. It's gotta hurt. It's so, and we get there's so many people like me that don't care. Like, we're not, even if it's New York Jets fans, we're going there to watch the football game, to watch the other team now, especially if it's a Baltimore Ravens or whoever's left on their, we could go on about like who's left in the schedule, and well, we get to see whatever team, because they might make, that's just a person like me that would go to the game. Even though, like, say, if I could afford it and I was living in the New York metropolitan area and near the stadium and I had season tickets, I'm one of those people that still go to the game, even though they're like, they're not in the playoffs at all. I'm not putting my ticket on StubHub. If I can physically make it, I'm fine health wise and I could afford it. I'm going. I love football and I love to watch live football if I can. And doesn't so. Like I said, it's there's a lot of factors to consider, and one, like I said earlier, is that like one of the Sylvester is that one of the factors is like if so you're gonna have either two, like I said, two type of managers. You're gonna have the status quo manager and the rebuild manager, and how like Woody Johnson, his age. Can he? I don't know how old. You know what? I don't mean how young is not old is. How young is Woody Johnson? Say, what I'm going to do is look up his bio real quickly, Woody Johnson's bio, because if his age will determine what direction they're going to try again. I mean, if they're going to try this again as the status quo season, or are they going to go for a total rebuild? Let's see. Woody Johnson. Woody Johnson. New York Jets. Okay. So Woody Johnson purchased the New York Jets in 2000, 24 years ago, for $635 million. Okay, like okay, let me look. Let's see. I need Woody John. You know, his Wikipedia page. I just there New York Jets. Okay, Robert Wood Johnson. Oh, I didn't realize that. Woody is not Woodrow. Okay, it's Woody. Okay, founding member of the Johnson and Johnson. Is that the? Oh my gosh, is that the products of Johnson and Johnson? Okay, I could see where he has the cash to kind of just. You know what I gotta do is there it is. There it is. Okay, Woody Johnson. Okay, let's see. April the 12th, 1947. Okay, I'm horrible with math at this moment, and I don't, because I'm really just tired. And okay, so we just gotta remember 2024 takeaway 1947. 77 years of young. Okay, so Robert Wood Johnson. 77 years young. I guess, it's up to it's how he feels. It's totally a 100% call on Robert Johnson, as not the blues singer, and Woody Johnson, I should say. And can he wait 4 or 5 years for a product to really get great? It could happen in 2-3 years. Does he go? Yeah. Once again, there's a case for made is the New York Jets status quo. Try this again. Different personnel here and there, tweaking the personnel here and there, or a total rebuild, which doesn't include Aaron Rodgers. So we'll see. That'll be the big off-season decision that'll be made. And it's Aaron Rodgers. It's all up to Aaron Rodgers. What the heck does he want to do? That's going to be the decision. Right? That's going to be off-season news for New York Jets. Soon as the season ends, New York Jets fans and WFAN, that's all they're going to be saying. Well, what does Aaron Rodgers want to do? What does Aaron Rodgers want? If he hasn't mentioned what he wants to do yet. What does Aaron Rodgers want to do? What does Aaron Rodgers want to do? Okay, so we'll go with that. We'll go to our next news item or story, and the Dallas roof. Okay, yes, they could. I know the season's not going so well in Dallas. You got, as I said, the score with earlier. I could have done this and that first, but this is breaking news. That's why I did this one first. But I could. Most people said, "Wait, why didn't you do this one here, and this one below it?" Because this would have correlated together. But I knew that. Sylvester. Remember, I said in the meetings, I go, "Yeah, I could have went for the obvious." And then, of course, we could have went for the obvious. For this is like the Dallas fans, and they're calling shows with the local radio station. Of course, I can't catch a Dallas. I could, via the internet, we can listen to the radio station that call in people calling in Dallas, and we're talking if there is a good passionate Dallas Cowboy in my day too, and I remember you call it America's team, and of course you're in football loving Texas, and you're in the Dallas Fort Worth area. Yeah, you're probably gonna call in and say things like, okay, here it is. Remember, folks, this is the fan calling in the Dallas radio station saying on the season for. Okay, I know I don't want to laugh too loud because in my I can't I don't have the editing power, so I don't want to laugh too hard. But I don't. It's not. We're not cruel on Sports News Review, and it's just like a feeling like giddiness. Like if I know there's people that have probably said this, and one of these things they probably said in a call-in show is probably, oh, as far as the Dallas season goes. Well, first of all, we got to see how it's different when it's scripted, because I live in my own NFL world when it's unscripted, Sylvester, and I didn't even mention. Okay, Dallas roof. Remember, I don't have room to put the particulars. It's just that's just the catcher, like the catch. And if you don't know it by now, you know it's NFL related. It's all we're doing is NFL news. So Dallas roof. It's of course AT&T Stadium, and I didn't want to put that in there. Dallas. I didn't want to put Dallas Cowboys roof. Just now. So it's AT&T Stadium. So once again, remember, Sports News Review. We are not cruel. We are not mean, but we will say, could this have been an obvious for NFL fans, especially Dallas Cowboy fans, to say on a talk show, like sports talk show, calling in and say, well, as far as the NFL season goes for the Dallas Cowboys, is the sky falling on Jerry World? And it's like, oh, that's the obvious. That is just so obvious, because what happened with the Dallas Cowboys, AT&T Stadium. Okay, there was this thing that the sun was in the eyes of certain players, and they said, I kind of missed, the sun was in my eyes. Jerry Jones didn't like it. And I understand why you shouldn't have said that. I can understand. I think it was like, to me, this is my take on it, not Sports News Review take. Because in Sports News Review, we're totally neutral. And this is just my personal take on it. And Sylvester, it's all my take. And it's nothing to do with Sylvester, nothing to do with Coach Coyote, and whoever covers, and whoever does NFL and Sports News Review. This is all me. And I'm saying that, like, I mean, we got the obvious where the sky is falling on Jerry World thing, and it's just, that's an obvious, that's an obvious one. So what happened was at the AT&T Stadium, there was a wind. I guess there was a windstorm. I don't know how much severe the windstorm was, but when you get certain heights, you know, you're gonna the wind is more intense higher off the ground, and there's nothing to block the wind. So the couple of a sheet or two, and I don't know how many you felt. So for some odd reason, they decided to open up the roof during a windstorm before the game starts, and they could have. But it's like you should have did that when nobody is in the stadium to see like the next windstorm. Like now you know this. Like any other stadiums out there with a dome. Now you know this is to like open the roof on a windstorm. See if things fly. See if things shake off and fly off when there's no one in the stadium and there's no game that day. It's a maintenance thing. And see what's loose up there. So this whole off season, Sylvester, they're gonna spend the whole off season, especially the company that manufactured the roof and the construction corporation that manufactured that roof. They're definitely going to be looking like, because there's other cities that want a roof, a dome stadium, and we can get into that whole debacle with the Buffalo Bills not building a roof. That's a debacle in itself. Now, the difference was in Dallas is they need a sliding roof. I don't know. I mean, a permanent roof would have been fine. Like I would have been okay if the Buffalo. I know it's a lot of more money to build a dome than it is to build a just a stadium, because the stadium was just probably the minimum requirement that was needed for the Buffalo Bills to stay in Buffalo. I'm gonna say that like. Living in Ontario, I am well aware of the situation of the Buffalo Bills and the stadium woes. Now, I understand. Buffalo is a small market, and this has to do with the Dallas roof too, because the Buffalo, they could have done a roof too. And like as far as the Dallas roof, that's the news. Like that's it for the news. That there was some issue, some debris falling and during the wind. I guess I don't know how much severe the windstorm was. I didn't look into it. Now, if I had a script, that's the difference. If anyone out there wants to try their own YouTube channel and try their own show and do NFL news, the NFL news, and whatever name you want to put out there, NFL news with blank and or whatever sports channel you want to call it. And I always say best thing you do is don't dedicate yourself as an NFL channel only, because then you're stuck with just nothing else but NFL, and there's a lot of off season. You can just venture out here and there, and at least once but the point being is that if you do your NFL news part, you're gonna find it is better to do scripted. And if you're looking for views, quote unquote, which I'm not, I didn't care. Like I know, I don't even know. Like let's throw odds out there of the like say a meteor, as I'm walking in an open field, and small meteor hitting the ground, and oh my gosh, I seen that. And I get to pick that up, and it's mine. Like the odds, the odds of. There's a lot of odds involved in that, So, I'm just saying, like, the odds of someone at 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 6 seconds into this video and still listening to my voice talking and listening to my commentary on the news, NFL news, not regular news, NFL news. And I gotta say, I think I got a better chance of picking up a meteorite that I could sell on. I don't know if I'd sell it. That's a weird thing. I don't think I'd want to. I don't want to sell it, but it's so tempting. to get like a quick $20,000 or whatever it is. It's nothing to sneer at. Like, but like I'm talking like a really good sized meteorite that you don't even have to cut in half to prove it's a meteorite because I seen it. You know, lit up the night sky and there it landed. You know what I mean? So I don't. Most people have to cut them up to prove it's a meteorite, but in that case, you don't have to. That's what I'm saying. You can get top dollar for that one because you don't have to cut it up. You leave it as a whole, one piece. And okay, so now I think that the chance of anyone still being on the channel this long is going to be slim to none. So, like I said, it's this season for Dallas. It's one of those things where it's too easy to pick on a team that's not doing so great this season and to just come up with anything. Of course, the sky is falling and is it falling apart in Jerry World? Not the stadium. I'm talking like just because Jerry Jones, and of course, people are easy to pick on. Jerry Jones right now, I guess he decided to do some kind of, I don't know, celebrity boxing thing that people. I never seen any part of that one. I don't mean any disrespect. I don't have a clue who this Jake Paul is. I have no idea who he's. Of course, I know who Mike Tyson is. I am of a certain age that, we was into the boxing hype back in the day. Of course, it's the 80s. Was I in the boxing hype in the 80s? Yeah, I'm a victim of its time. And I don't, now, like, I don't care about. And it's not like, oh, I switched over to MMA because I don't like boxing anymore. It's too slow and this and that. Like, no, it's not that at all. I don't care about combative sports. I don't. It's not for me. We don't even do any of that on Sports News Review. We have puppets, and this, I'm gonna say, I don't know. So apparently, I heard from some people I know that kind of. He watched this. So this has to do. This is pertinent to the owner, Jerry Jones, because I guess he was a big promoter of this thing, an event, and it didn't go so well. And apparently, I'm not sure who Jake Paul is, how old he is, but I'm gonna guess he's he's a lot younger than Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is 58 years young. And I guess they said that Mike Tyson didn't look like he was really into it that much. I'm saying, well, there's two factors here. First is the factor of Mike Tyson was like all he knew in his life when he's growing up was to be a boxer. To he as the way to what he wanted, which is riches, and it didn't work out, all that. Like, he does get money, but you find out later what happens, and it just gets too political on like what happened with his money and how he got burned and how he spent and foolishly. But like, let's face facts here. I said, well, if Mike Tyson wasn't like money so much, you'd think he'd be possibly risking his health. Like, what if, like, apparently, I guess Jake Paul is not that good of a boxer compared to. I mean, he's got youth on his side. He might be a decent boxer for all I know. I have no clue how if Jake Paul's now. This is has to do. I think Jerry Jones promoted this thing. I guess I heard. So I'll look that up because I'll stop talking about it if because if what it is that there's a lot of people out there that want to say, pick on Jerry Jones and get back not only the bad season that the Cowboys are having, but this boxing thing that was promoted, the celebrity boxing thing. So I'm just gonna type it in. Did Jerry Jones promote that boxing? Did Jerry Jones promote the boxing? I know, and the roof just promote the Jerry Jones. Oh, I didn't get the promo, because then now the whole thing is like just a way to like fans in the Dallas area and any area that the really hardcore Dallas Cowboy fan. Well, they're just gonna find any excuse to pick on Jerry Jones right now because it's not going so good. Now, if the Cowboys were having a really good season, Dak Jones wasn't injured and everything was going really well, and for whatever reason, I don't want to see people getting hurt in a boxing arena, a boxing match. But if the boxing was to their standard, whatever standard they wanted, I'm not looking for injury. I'm not looking for someone to get knocked down. I don't care. I don't care if they were playing. What's that game where you touch tiki tack? I can't remember. I don't care if they were laughing under their breaths and just like sparring. I don't care. I don't even care. But people out there are going to pick on Jerry Jones because it's the only way they can get back at someone that's unattainable to get. Like, how do you say, like, they're not going to be able to, like, see Jerry Jones up close and personal and say, oh, your team is horrible. And that thing you promoted was rotten. And the disappointment, I should say. I don't care if it was a disappointment or not. It's not for me. I don't care. Did Jerry Jones promote the boxing event? Was he part of the promotion or something like that? Did he like? Let's see. Netflix and for I don't I'm not sure. And then one of them there's a title that says Jerry Jones takes harder hits than Jake Paul after underwhelming fight. But did he have any? I'm not sure. I'm not sure why. If Jerry Jones did not promote this boxing, like he didn't have like anything to do with it at all, why comment on it? Why even comment on it? Like seriously, I'm just saying nicely. Like this is a person who's very successful in life, who owns a football team, the Dallas Cowboys, won Super Bowls with the quarterback named Troy Aikman, and somehow figured out a way to get this, I'm gonna say beautiful dome stadium. That's gonna be all worked out. They'll figure it out. It will come back. It'll be nice. Now the thing is does Jerry Jones need advice from me? No, not at all. Who am I to give him advice? But I'll give it anyways because it's just. But like, I'm just saying, I'm not gonna bother looking it up. If was he part of the promotion? Because that it's just one of those deals. I'm like, it says the Jerry Jones remark, and I'm like, why even mention anything? I wouldn't mention anything. You know, as far as like whatever happened, just because it just happened to be at the stadium that the Dallas Cowboys play in, so what? I think a lot of owners would just not chime in. But yeah, chime in. That's exactly it. That's the word I'm looking for. Did Jerry Jones need to chime in if he had nothing to do with the promotion? Yeah, don't even chime in. Just say squat. As in, like, don't say anything. And your opinion of it is saying, well, I don't know. He has a media team that can help him say things that are so neutral, because it's like, Jerry, you didn't have Mr. Jones. You didn't have anything to do with this promotional wise, so you don't really need to quote unquote step in it. And you know, why step into something like that when you didn't have anything to do with it? That's the way I would be. Just, I would never be like, if I was the owner of the Dallas Cowboys or whatever NFL team I own, and they like, say, Las Vegas Raiders would be another example. Like, if I own the Las Vegas Raiders, of course it's Dome Stadium, Allegiant Stadium, and I absolutely have nothing to do with the promotion of it, and I don't know. I just try to, like I say, tippy toe around it, not have any comments on it, because I didn't have anything to do with it. But when you do comment on it, and you come off as like you have something to do with it, well, fans are gonna look for any, as they say, avenue to vent out their frustrations about the Dallas Cowboys, and then pick on the stadium, an inanimate object associated with you, and then to top it off, some boxing event. I don't know if he had any say into it or not. I don't know, but like I said, what? All I have is my age and like what I know throughout my life, and that. And what they say, that and $1 something will get you a cup of coffee at your local coffee shop. You know, that's all I got to say. You know, whatever a cup of coffee costs these days, I can't afford to keep constantly go buy coffees, and I don't think so. I'm not one of those people that go. I'll buy a coffee when I'm on the road, quote unquote. Sure, I'll buy a coffee when I'm on the road. I don't have a problem with that. If I was working every day and would I buy coffee in the morning, and yeah, sure, why not? If it keeps me going, sure, why not? It's not a deal breaker, but yeah. So I'm just saying, like my advice plus $1.50 or $1.75, just saying, will get you a cup of coffee. So that's what I'm getting at. What does my advice mean? Whatever you want it to mean in life. And yeah, yeah. Like I said, the roof, they're going to go over it. They're going to figure out. They're going to look for anything, other loose structures, and I seen it. Sylvester, I know. Sylvester, I know you're not afraid of heights. You're pretty well. Let's see. Cat's afraid of heights. I guess you can be afraid of extreme heights, even though like Sylvester in his prime. Not right now. Not as an elderly cat. You can't jump. Sylvester could jump off a 2-story building in his prime. And I wouldn't recommend it. I don't. I totally don't like. I only heard one story one time when I was very young about someone living on the second floor and the cat jumped to the ground floor, and they didn't want the cat to do that, even though it was fine. It was like, but still, it still go wrong. Think of the height of the cat, like jumping off of one story. Back in the day, Sylvester, I'm okay with it. You want to jump off a 1-story building, you're a cat, you can do it. No, after that, it becomes ridiculous. It's like, no, you don't want to. And of course, you can. That's not you, Sylvester. You have a mind of your own. You don't do silly stunts and all that. If you're gonna do a stunt, it was all like back in the safe to do because you got you stunt double to do it for you, even though you could have probably done it. But Sylvester, they didn't want you to get hurt on set back in the day. And so I'm just, I'm always having fun pretending that like the puppets are real and that. Okay, so I definitely don't like. I'm just saying that, like, you know, um, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I've seen oh yeah, because I've seen someone walking around the structure, and I don't think I could do that anymore. I could have done that when I was very young. Okay, like when I was 20 years old, maybe 20 up to a certain age. I could have walked around that structure looking for anything loose. I had no problem, especially if I was 20 years old. I had no problem with that. But there was a certain time where I lost the nerve to do that. And it's like, no way am I gonna. I started noticing it when, like, say, first time in a long time, when it was like, I don't know, like, a very long time ago. It's just, I don't know when. It's just, I noticed, I started, like, I'm not afraid of heights, but I just don't want to be in a situation where, like, the railing is sketchy. You can, like, we can go, like, say Sylvester, we can go to a hotel room back in the day, especially when it was like Acapulco. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe the railing was like so like high. One of the tall buildings for like a hotel, and the railing was like not even up to my. It was really low, like hardly up, not up to my waist. I'm like, I'm not a big fan of this. I'm just not a big fan of this. Like I'd like a railing that's at least higher than waist. Whatever. But that's back then. I wasn't scared at all. I could have. Why would I be standing on top of the railing? No idea. That wouldn't make any sense to do it. I'm not a fool. Like, as I say, you know, difference between being a stunt person and doing stunts. There's a big difference between it. There's stunt people that do stunts in the movies. They want to live and not be injured so they can do their next movie. Injury is money. They get injured, they can't, and they can lose the nerve to do So, but yeah, was I afraid of heights back then? No, I wasn't. But there was a certain time where it's like, I just, what am I? It's like, what am I doing? And like I can't remember one of those, like, especially like amusement parks. Like, there was a time I was like, I don't like this stuff anymore. Like, I don't want. That's when I noticed I was getting old. It's like I can't. I was getting a super headache because of the rushes from the head rushes from all the excitement on the roller coasters and the rides, and I can't. And then I had younger people with me, Sylvester, and I was like, I can't. I had enough. I'll just watch these guys. I got an extreme headache from all the head rushes and that, and I think it was back in the day, and so yeah. Like I said, I mean, yeah, it's easy to pick on a billionaire owner, you know, comments probably on state. I'm just saying, Sylvester, so it's easy. Yeah, just stick to your football. That's it. And stick to your criticisms of the football team. Okay, so with that, well, we'll switch gears and we'll go to the injuries. there was a couple of injuries that were pretty notable, I guess, in the NFL. Obviously, Dak Prescott. See, I would have had it scripted out, where, if I wasn't off script like I'm doing now, where Dak Prescott, because I didn't have it. I don't think we did Dak Prescott injury in our last edition of NFL News and Sylvester. So no, I'm like, well, yeah, Dak Prescott is, which has no correlation with this story ahead of about the sheet metal falling off, pieces of sheet metal falling off the roof of the AT&T Stadium. Dak Prescott injury is different. Okay, it just happens to be like it just happens that Dak Prescott is going to be the most notable injury right now, and I don't even look it up. I'll look up NFL injuries in a sec. I'm just going to need a refreshment break, Sylvester. Well, you even heard me drinking. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so that, I guess, look up NFL injuries, and let's see. I'm gonna put NFL. Sylvester, you got fur on, and I'm gonna say, can I open the window? And Sylvester's like, he's gonna give me the thumbs up. Yeah, open the window. He's got fur on, so he's fine. Okay, sit tight, Sylvester. Or stand. Just yeah, you're sitting down. Yeah, sit tight, Sylvester. I'm gonna open the window. I'm hot. Oh, okay. Oh, some fresh air. Oh, I don't. Oh, I don't even have the heat on yet. I'm that type of person. I could do without heat. I'd rather bundle up than put. Heat is for when you absolutely need it. It's the opposite of air conditioning. Air conditioning, you got no choice in this day and age where you have to have the air conditioning on, or it's just unbearable in certain for certain months of the year. But heat is easy to control. That you could just put more clothing on. But when it comes to air conditioning, you can't. You wear like what are you gonna strip down and less than a t-shirt on? You can even get those new t-shirts that are sporty t-shirts. I don't really have the physique for them, but the material that's ultra light, What are you gonna do? Switch from a regular cotton t-shirt to that ultra light t-shirt? That's not gonna make much of a difference. But right now, if I'm extremely, I got shorts on and a t-shirt, and I got my hoodie right there, and I got these really thick track pants right here. So if I start to get a little chill, I just put on the track pants, put on the hoodie, and then if it starts to get a little too cold, and then Sylvester's going, it's getting a little chilly in here, even though I have fur on, but he's, I don't know, just shut the window, and like I said, so yeah, Sylvester's totally fine. He's got a fur coat on. I really need the air conditioning for, if you have pets, you really need no pet. I'm sorry, a cat is a family member, or a dog is a family member. Yeah, you really need air conditioning. Okay, so I'm going to put down now that the NFL injury report. Let's go with the NFL injury report. So NFL.com, good to go with that one, because they want us to read it. They want people to read NFL.com. It's not like we have to pay for NFL.com. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, they got quite a list. Well, I just needed some notable ones this week. I don't know. Well, I'll look at the. Well, I'm looking at the Commanders. They're starting out. Washington, Philadelphia, Thursday, November the 14th. I didn't realize how many, because there's a lot of I don't see big names on the Commanders. Nothing like strikes that go like say, oh my gosh. But and then I go to the Eagles. Jalen Hurts was evaluated and clear. Okay. Sunday, November the 17th, we'll start with the Rams. And don't. Charles Woods and Byron Young. Those are notable ones. They got ankle, knee, and limited practice. Okay, so then okay. Let's see the Patriots. Patriots? I probably don't. I'm looking at Patriots, and I don't know these. No, there's not names that stand out going. I didn't know that happened. Okay, we'll go with the Ravens, Baltimore Ravens. I definitely know a few. Oh, they're saying Lamar Jackson, quarterback. Well, it says full participation in practice. Game status? No. See, I'm looking for injuries that happened that game. Like, this one is. Well, let's see. You know what I'm gonna do is look for. Let's see, Dallas, because you got your notable player. Let's see. When it comes to Jets, Devontae Adams. Now that's a notable name. That wide receiver, very important position in this day and age. C.J. Mosley. That's a name. Linebacker. They got Aaron Rodgers listed. Yeah, it's kind of okay. Cleveland, not sure. Green Bay. There's nothing really. They still got Jordan Love. Oh, come on, whatever. It's just funny how they still put him on there. He's playing and all that. Okay, I don't know how that works. Okay, you know what it is? I gotta look for see. Max Crosby's full participation in practice? Okay, so game status, they're not really. This is for that game. Okay, so I don't know. See, I don't know if he actually played this weekend. And they got Tyreek Hill listed, practice, and he wasn't out for the game. Okay, Seattle, San Francisco. See, in San Francisco, they're probably going to say Nick Moody. Let's see. Oh, no, sorry. Not. Oh, okay, they have Nick Bosa. I thought that happened. He's limited practice. He's questionable for the game. Wait, he was. That's a notable name there, Nick Bosa, because, well, like, as in, like, for the San Francisco 49ers, that's a notable name, Nick Bosa. And he was questionable, and now, wait, this one says a hip, and now it's, I know it's something like I heard is from oblique, so I guess, I guess if you're fine to go, you don't expect the oblique injury like that to happen. Okay, so I know Nick Bosa had an injury this week on top of this injury I was unaware of before, but they're not related. Those two are not correlated because they're two different injuries. They still got George Kittle's a hamstring. Atlanta and Denver. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna see if I'm gonna see. You know what's funny? KC Harrison Butker. I don't think he played this weekend. I don't think Harrison Butker played this weekend. I didn't get a chance, Sylvester. I didn't do the live stream for the Buffalo Bills game. Instead, I did the CFL live stream, and I didn't. You know, I didn't want to go back and forth because it wasn't like it was if the Hamilton Tiger Cats were playing a regular season game on a Sunday, and the Bills were playing, or if it was a Thursday night football game for the Hamilton Tigercats, and the Buffalo Bills were playing Thursday night, and I would have went back and forth. This is the CFL Grey Cup, and I said no. I do the CFL Grey Cup, and I'm going to be dedicated to the CFL Grey Cup, and I'll just watch the game because I still had cable. It was we were deciding on the cable. We started the box, and it was easy to record it and just watch it on my own time. Okay, so let's see. Biggest. What was the one I'm looking for? Is the obvious one. Here it is. Okay. They said they got C.J. Stroud. I seen C.J. Stroud. I seen Derek Stingley Jr. playing. That's a cornerback. Quarterback C.J. Stroud. He played. I don't. It's just these lists are kind of funny in a way. It's now the Cowboys, and is it Trevon Diggs? Yeah, cornerback Trevon Diggs. That's a. They didn't mention. I don't. I didn't. I can't remember if he. I watched the game, but I don't remember. I just don't remember. And Zach Martin's shoulder. Didn't that happen in the game? Michael Parsons. There's Dak Prescott out. Did not participate in practice. Yeah, that didn't happen at that game. Of course, I knew that one. That was notable, even though the injury wasn't this Sunday. That yeah, Dak Prescott being the quarterback. You know what's funny is Cooper Rush is listed as an injury on the injury list. And okay, so it says here that Devontae Adams. So, but who got injured on Sunday? I should maybe that's what I need to do. Quickly do it again. NFL news. It's like I want to know. Okay, we know Dak Prescott. That's what started injury report. Okay, so then that's the report. Let's see, week 11. Maybe that changes. If I put week 11 because maybe some of these are previous weeks. I just want that day. That okay. Okay, the week 11. 6 days ago. No. I don't want 6 days ago. I only want a couple of days ago. No, I just want a couple of days. I just want the injury report from the. That's the one I would have done if it was scripted. Uh, well, pretty well. You know, the Nick Bosa and the Dak Prescott. You know, if we look up San Diego Chargers, they probably still have, like, say, Justin Herbert listed, and he played this Sunday. But I was looking, Sylvester, I was looking for the actual, like, people that got injured on Sunday, that Sunday, and they went and they had to leave, they had to exit the game due to their injury, and that would have been done and quickly done if it was scripted, and I would have been because to see I just this is like one of those things, Sylvester. If anybody wants to do this, you know, say you're a certain age, you're 12 years old, you love NFL football, and you're thinking, hey, I could do a much better job than that chap, and I could use my own, hide behind my own. Um, you know, it's good trials, you know, in life to get the experience to do it. But I'm doing it for fun. I'm not doing it for like. No, I definitely would do this. I definitely would be super professional if I was 14 years old. Going, you never know in this world. Can I make a living out of doing sports reporting? You know, lots of practice. Grammar is important. You know, it's very important to do grammar. Trust me. Trust me. If you're a young person out there, and you want to do something like you want to do it. This is like you can run it like here. I'm gonna like I can go and get that ball I had. I've had all kinds of footballs in my life and so I can grab one of that stuffed plush football that looks horrible. I did back in grammar school. It was a home economics course. Of course, I did a stuffed football for a pillow. Looked pretty good in its state, but we played with it. And I got it from memories, I could, like I said, I could pick up the ball and run with it. And yes, if the person's out there, it's 14 years old. Oh, you have all the opportunities in this wide world we live in to practice doing a sports channel. You're on your own, you know. You gotta learn schedules to keep, research to do, like if you know, and you don't have to tell anybody like I am. I don't promote my channel by telling people I know. Hey, can you go on Sports News Review and give me some views? I don't care. I don't care. I do it for myself. It's all for fun. And if I was 16 years old, right now, Sylvester, I'd be having too much fun. Now, the thing is, my mindset would be different where I'm not using characters that I grew up with, unless Sylvester makes a comeback on some kind of cartoon right now, and as 15, I'm not using. I don't know what I'd be using, like if I don't want to hide behind something, because I don't, you know what I mean. But mainly, it's learning everything like production values, lighting the studio up. Like I got two of these, like these things I'm talking about here. Look, see the bar, they're not. These were at the dollar stores. I got the other one over here in this corner. I'm pointing over there, Sylvester. There's another one over there in this corner, identical to this one, and that light. See that just helps light up Sylvester. You just point it, and the overhead light right here. Here's the overhead light. You know what else you can learn too is you could sometimes it's a good idea to block some of that lighting here and there, and you get shadows. You're learning everything. Good luck finding. If you just want to start your channel now and you don't have a budget and you don't have the room to, and you don't have like a way to put a video screen up like this, because using a video screen is so nice. So you're not gonna find these at the dollar store anymore. I bought 4 of them and I regret not buying more. It's just the letters. You get the more letters you have, and the numbers too to do the scores. Now, if you do all the scores like I do, like when I do NFL scores with Sylvester, twos are you didn't even realize how important twos are, because I got 10 of them. I got 10 individual twos, and I still had to scramble and switch out games on one board to another because there was too many twos. I used up all the 1 week. The last time we did NFL, remember Sylvester? Last time we did NFL news with Sylvester, I ran out of twos. There were so many twos in the scores that I had to switch out a game because I used 2 boards up, and I had to switch out a game that didn't have any twos. So I could use up all 10 twos on that one. I used up 9, but it was kind of odd where I had to, I don't know, the way I had to figure it all out. So I used up all the twos, and yeah, like you need a lot of twos if you don't want to keep switching out, pausing and switching out. Like, you want to, you learn how to put the HOU and the DA. I'm just giving advice. Like, you can have a lot of fun. If you're a young person out there, you can have a lot. You're not going to find these marquee boards, I call. And this is just a picture I did with Sylvester. I took a screenshot of it and got the picture for 37 cents. And I stuck it in there, and the yeah, like I said, this I call the marquee board. So it's got one of those. It's on like the pipe cleaners. I forget the real name of this stuff. I bought a whole pack of pipe cleaners, and this one is on a pipe cleaner too, where my logo, um, and like I said, no, this one was an old control for like it's just a prop. It's just an old control for a TV, a smart TV. And I'm pretending that Sylvester has its own control, being able to control what's on the screen and all that, and look up information. It's just a prop and that. And this, of course, I got into so many times about this being just a prop microphone. The actual microphone is two of them built into the camera, and that's on a stand. And this is just a shoebox. The desk is a shoebox. I cut out to give it the look of it. You can see how square it is at the corners, eh? Like, and I cut out, and then underneath it's all duct taped up underneath them, because or else this thing would fall apart. It's only held together with duct tape underneath to keep its integrity, and it's just something to hold up Sylvester, to hold him up, because Coach Coyote can stand up on its own, because he's got little metal rods inside the stuffed toy, where Sylvester's easy. I'm sorry, Coach Coyote's an easy setup when I'm doing like a quick setup for like your pre-game, post-game, and all that. But when it's a dedicated thing like NFL news and that, you gotta set everything up. Yeah. Oh, this logo. I get into that. Well, I mean, there's so much. Like this didn't happen overnight. You could, like, if you're a young person out there, like, don't lose the opportunity to go do your own YouTube channel, and like, no, stick with the YouTube. Stick with the YouTube. It's the ease. Don't go for anything else, like, whatever. I don't care whatever other social media thing is. Like, no, stick with YouTube. It's easy to find YouTube anywhere. You could even, like, wherever you can be in this world. And YouTube, you go on your own channel and you can access it from if you even if you want to watch your own video somewhere else, it's so easy to go on YouTube, even on someone else's device, that whatever, visiting someone's house, and parents are visiting someone's house and they got YouTube. Yeah, you could put your own channel on their television, smart TV, YouTube. Everybody has YouTube as an app on their smart TVs, or whatever devices and that. I recommend YouTube. It's tried, true, tested YouTube, and the other ones are all glitz and glamour, and forget it. You got your live streams after you learn, of course, and you're like, I guess I come from a different world, Sylvester, where I really love this. I came up with this is a big picture, a photograph. You just cut a little piece of it. You got it. What it is I took a picture of the television screen. I should just show a tutorial on everything I've done. How these are held up by these giant clips with pipe cleaners, and I'll show another board. I'll show an empty board, just whatever blank board I got here. So, see, like, here's the last one I bought. This is number 4. Okay, so it's like it's marked. First of all, I mark it down. Like, here's the actual things I bought. Sorry, Sylvester, I'm just showing everybody a tutorial kind of deal. Whereas I bought 4 of these, and I regret not buying more. And they come with they come with letters. And okay, so now here's the back of it. And I got, like I said, I got 4 of them. You make sure, I use different color, those pipe cleaners. Use a red, blue, so you know which one's which. This is number 4th one I bought. So you put that down the center, right down the center, and tie it up tight. And that way, when it's hanging like this, you can hang it. Here's a blank one. You know, it's easy to switch out. You hit if you're not doing a live stream, you don't need to switch out all the time. But in a video, you can hit the pause, and then you could switch out, and they're held over this. Oh, this is a whiteboard with a covering on it. Okay, I already had this whiteboard. I thought I was going to organize my life with the whiteboard, but then Sylvester, I'm so glad about the whiteboard because it became the studio back wall. You know what I mean? Out of nowhere. There's the studio back wall to hang stuff up off of, especially to put the backdrop. As I say, the backdrop came out really nice, and then I made another desk for Sylvester. I'm sorry, I made another desk for Ernie because it just matched better. Ernie had his own desk, and this is, like I said, this is a Nike shoebox. The color is very distinct, and yeah, see, you could see Sylvester's feet underneath there. Okay, like I'm just dying to show people that Sylvester the microphone where it's like this is just a prop microphone, of course, and it's got the connection. I've shown it before. It's not even like a USB connection because I'm never gonna plug this in a real black. And you put it up like as if Sylvester's at a sport like a conference, like a press conference, and there's your microphone and there's your logo. You know, you come up with your own logo. You know. Hey, no, it's just like. Oh, this is the halo circle light over top of it. Of course, see, and like you learn, you can learn about lighting. You learn about lighting. You learn about. Well, if you're gonna get into editing, which is really good, but then you need a different program to load your video in, to do all the editing and that. And you could really have like I said, in the boxes, you mark them out like this, where it says number 4, you mark out your boxes, and you put down, and they could stack one on top of each other against the wall, like not flat, like this, like one on top of another, like the box. I put 3 and then 1. I stack them neatly. I got a small room, and so I'll put this one away. It's a blank one. Like World Sports News with Ernie, it's already done. Like if you have a lot of letters, so tomorrow, I already got a lot of that World Sports News already done. So here's another one, and see, like snooker. I'm gonna add the snooker event. See, Sylvester, did I hit you or did I hit the desk? I can't remember. I'm so sorry, Sylvester. Okay, so here's AF. Like, see, you can see this is the World Sports News with Ernie. And it's really hard for me to get. See, this one I left it alone because I got plenty of letters, to not worry about. Like I run out of letters, and you can always, if you only have 1 or 2, if you only have 2, you gotta remember how to switch them out. And when you're young, you got the energy to do. You might have the energy to do all that, and it's just. And of course, your white. This is the black one, the black pipe cleaner number 2. This is the second one I bought. The red one is the first one I bought. So let's see. This is the red one. So this is the first one I bought. Okay, number 4 is the blank one so far. So yeah, I even got the other one too. I got 4 of them. The other one's filled with all Ernie's stuff too. And that'll be ready to go. Like that will be ready to go tomorrow. Quick and of course the marquee board's gonna be switched up. The marquee board's gonna have Sylvester's picture with Felix, and it'll be World Sports News with. So news and with is staying on this board tonight. It will be Ernie. And World and Sports will be added, and that's the marquee board. I'll be there tomorrow on the. You'll see tomorrow. It's on the side, and this will be switched out. I'm gonna do a script. I'm gonna get my tablet all loaded up. I'm gonna do a script with World Sports News and Ernie, and like this. I really, really, really want someone that's a young person to like. take this all in and not just scoff at it, going, hey man, if I can make a living, doing like news, sports news, not real news, I don't want to get into that. That's a different category. You can even do another channel if you're younger than a certain age of, say, like whatever action hero comic, like say like cartoon action heroes. Like say if someone's like 11 or 12 years old, they could use an action hero as their presenter, like whatever modern action hero of the day today, and like and movie reviews. Just don't tell your friends what you're doing. Keep it to yourself. Don't worry about promoting it, like trying to get views, and let it just happen. If people like it, they will come. If you make the videos and people like the content, they will come. And the best part is you learn a lot about actual production. Like, okay, you look at my hand. Look at the size of my hand. Okay, that's a shoebox. The scale to make this a real studio, and then you can understand the concept of a studio, like what you want to do, how much clutter. You learn. Like I see people what they call their podcasts, and they sit in, like you're sitting in front of a desk practically, like you're turning the chair around, Sylvester. You know what I'm saying, Sylvester? People are turning the chair around, and then behind them will be like the bookshelf of stuff, and you know, not so much stuff. Too much stuff is clutter. It's hard to see what you're doing. If you notice that professional studios try to keep it really simple, and this is not a professional studio by any stretch, but you notice they try to give this impression that they're really big. They got these nice see-through desks and plastics all over, like the hanging plastics, like like the desk is see-through, kind of plasticky kind of look to it, possibly, and yeah, I mean, like to try to do this on a full scale is the next step. You learn a lot from doing this on a small, because there is no going to be a next step for me. This is it. This is it. This is the studio. This is the Sports News Review studio. When I move, if I move and I have more room, I'm not making a full studio until I don't know. I need to win a lottery to have a dedicated, even like a quarter of the room, the studio, you know. And of course to be able to do the live streams with the television in it, and you obviously can't show the television screen. Don't forget, if you're a young person, don't ever put the audio or the video on your YouTube channel. It's you don't want to lose control of your channel by getting copyright strikes. You lose all your content, and you will be regretting it in life when you're 50 years old. Because in the future, like I'm talking right now, someone that's 12 years old doing all this on their own, could be sports related, or could be just action hero comics, video games reviews, movie reviews. They will regret losing all the access to their channel that they could have watched when they were 50, or show their kids and have a good laugh. And even if they don't, it's all, I'm just saying that now. Okay, so we'll go to the next story. Two stories, real quick on it. Okay, then, Daniel Jones, New York Giant quarterback, Uh, they are benching Daniel Jones for the remainder of the season, and they're putting in the backup quarterback, Tommy DeVito. No, sorry, is it Tommy DeVito? I'm start. I'm getting tired, coach. And see, the thing is, when you're young, you won't get tired like me. You're not gonna have a haze. Like I'm like I'm I'm getting fuzzy right now. Everything's getting fuzzy. My memory's getting fuzzy. It's because it's just wait. It's been 2 hours. Wow, 2 hours, Sylvester. I mean, it's easy to be a stuffed plush toy. You could sit there for hours and hours, but I'm done. I'm totally exhausted now. Okay, and I'm just gonna wrap this up because I want to finish this program. In the future, when I watch it, I want to see myself finish it, and I could just finish it real quick, or I don't need to take more time. I got enough content on here. But Daniel Jones has been benched, and like it's kind of different to do this off script. And it's more like the Pardon the Interruption PTIs that thing, more like that show. It's more like Pardon the Interruption I'm doing than say NFL News and Sylvester. I should say pardon the interruption with Sylvester. Okay. So, anyways, yeah, because here comes the part where I'm going to say that um, people say, why the benching of Daniel Jones if he's willing and able to play? Because if Daniel Jones gets hurt, and because now they're totally not in the playoffs, like they're not going to make the playoffs, and they know that. They're looking at next season. So if Daniel Jones gets hurt in the contract that he has, that's Daniel Jones, quarterback for the New York Jets, that if he's injured and unable to have pass a physical next season, that Daniel Jones will get $23 million, as they say, like up front. Like here he is, $23 million. So it's like, it's like we're paying him anyways. They're paying him, they have to pay him for the remainder of the season. But as far as like injury, and it's like, okay, it's a business, and Sylvester, I listened to earlier. I once again, it was on the YouTube channel WFA. I looked at the WFAN YouTube channel, and the one guy was on the program was saying, "Well, Daniel Jones will be fine right at this moment in life. I mean, he's has $18 million, and I'm not going to get into if Daniel Jones blows all his money in life. That's not my problem. It's whatever in life. I don't care. But he'll be fine as the moment right now. Now, Daniel Jones doesn't want to sit at home and go, oh, look, I got all this money. He's in a different mindset than the average person, that he really wants to get back in and see if he can help a team get to the next level, because it's a short time, and Daniel Jones is well aware, and he's been told all the time that in life, NFL quarterback, one injury away from that's it, you're done. So he wants to be part of some organization where winning the ultimate prize for the NFL, which is the Super Bowl, and being able to play that Super Bowl winning game over and over when he's in his 50s, 60s, and whatever year, 2000 and whatever, I don't know, it could be 2050, 2050, he could be playing on whatever device, it could be. By then it could be like the virtual. Who knows if they do the virtual 3D goggle view? Who knows what the technology could be where you can watch the game sitting in a chair in the middle of the room, and the plays around you. He could relive, especially if he gets a lot of that, he could relive that feeling of that game that day. So Daniel Jones is not all about like there's people. There's a difference. Like I said earlier, there's a difference between the Daniel Jones and a person like me that goes, "Oh well, at least I got my money." I'm not saying. I'm just saying like, well, yeah, I got money. I guess. Because I guess my mindset is, I don't have that kind of money. Not even thinking about that kind of money. So I don't. I don't know. I'm not. Like I said, it's a different mindset when you're an athlete like Daniel Jones and you want to just really want to play. And but they're like, I'm gonna say that there's, you got your Wellington Maras are going. Wait, I'm gonna shell out $23 million for him to get in. If he gets injured and they can't pass a physical, I have to pay him $23 million. Oh, Tommy DeVito. That's right. What did I say? Did I guess it's Tommy DeVito? Yeah. All right, let's try Tommy DeVito. And of course, the WFAN, they were like, the other quarterback is probably a better chance to win, but they're like, okay, the fans are all about but I'm like, nah, it's better to play the Tommy DeVito. Because if it doesn't work out, then you go to that other quarterback, and it's like, you know, it's like I said, the tickets are already sold for the games, and it's just a matter you want fans to come in and sit down and watch the game. And I don't want to see empty seats at a New York Giants game, even though the tickets are sold. It just feels bad, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, so they came up with all these things about the spark that Tommy DeVito brought in, and then this other person came with the reality check saying, well, he lost the last 3 games, and there was no touchdowns, and I don't know. I just gonna leave it at. I'm just gonna leave it at like, I don't know. Yeah, it's a matter of like you play your Tommy DeVito, and then it doesn't matter what happens to the next quarterback. He's got no pressure. Like, I forget the third string quarterback that's going to be now the second string quarterback. So that they're saying that. Okay, so let me look it up real quick, and then we'll go to the Pro Bowl and then finish this up. Okay, so what about the Pro Bowl and all that? Like, why did I bring that up? Okay, so I'm going to be going into the search engine and putting in New York Giant quarterbacks, and let's see, come on, give me the keyboard, okay, N-E-W, York Giants quarterbacks, QB depth chart, okay, let's see, go to whoa, what's going on here? Okay, now Daniel Jones, okay, benched, and then reported that okay, so Tommy DeVito will start, and veteran Drew Lock, and yeah, I gotta say this, okay, yeah, most people say Drew Lock probably has your better chance to winning a game, but nah, this is a fan based decision. This isn't like an NFL team decision that wants to see they're going to put in Drew Lock. If Tommy DeVito doesn't do so well, then it's Drew Lock, and then it's a total pressure free Drew Lock that goes on the field. If there's like 3 games left or 4 games left, whatever it is, if they give the Tommy DeVito a chance, and well, this game, their upcoming game is the Dallas Cowboys. So it's like, you know what? There's a good chance that Tommy DeVito could win that game. We already know Drew Lock is better suited to give us a better chance to win the game. But then again, it gets into that old thing again. Is Tommy DeVito being set up to just like lose games quote unquote. Okay, people are saying it. Tanking. Are they tanking? I don't know. Yeah, it's you know, if I was in Tommy DeVito's position in life, and do I look in the mirror and I go, "Wow, I'm being set up to," because they're trying to tank. But as an NFL quarterback, you gotta believe in yourself. That's how he got there. That's how he gets that far in life. He's not a wishy-washy character like myself, like looking in the mirror and having a reality check. There's no need for reality checks. It's like, just go there, do it, whatever it is. It's the motivation is, oh, you want me to like, you can't do that. This is not a script. The thing, like back in the day when I was watching professional wrestling, I'm not gonna get that story how long. Watched professional wrestling back in the day when I was very young, but then when it became mainstream with the mainstream after the WrestleMania one, I kind of I lost interest in wrestling. It wasn't the shite show it used to be. I watched NWA. I never watched WWF, and it's just because it was too mainstream. And to me, pro wrestling was all about not being mainstream. And I knew it was scripted, but I loved watching wrestling because football wasn't 24/7 like it was nowadays. Around, there was no football whatsoever back in my day. Spring and early summer, there was no football at all, like mentioning and all that. And so, like, it's not a script. You got they want to tank, but you got Tommy DeVito's gonna have supporters around him, like, oh wow, you get the start, They're the ones that are gonna try to help block out things like, are the New York Jets trying to tank? It's like, no, Tommy DeVito's gonna go, you know what? I'm gonna play my best. Because no person on the New York Jets managerial organization are saying words like, we're tanking. No, they don't. They're just not. They're not. There'll be fines, and there'll be what they're trying to do, draft selections. A team is not ever gonna have an email like it was saying to each other, because it could, emails are part of the corporation. They're not personal property. So if there's an email in the football organization that's like, we're with quotes tanking for this season, and I'm not gonna pick on Tommy DeVito. I'm just saying, well, we're gonna put in a quarterback that's less qualified because we could really use that draft pick. If anybody's wondering, and then it's like, if that email gets to the NFL front office, Sylvester, you know what happens? It's like, oh, you want to do that? That's not, fans won't like this because they just don't, like, nobody wants to pay money and not have a team try. And it's like, I know there's a lot of fans the Buffalo Sabres are the perfect example of what happened. I mean, it was pretty obvious what they were doing. When players were doing so good, they're mysteriously traded. And now it's like they were trying to get the ultimate prize at the time, which was Connor McDavid. Buffalo Sabres that time had the 50-50 chance of getting Connor McDavid, because if they didn't get Connor McDavid first round, because they would have picked Connor McDavid, Edmonton got the draft selection, and this is NFL related too. This is what exactly can happen in the NFL. And so Connor McDavid didn't end up getting selected by the Buffalo Sabres because they did not get the first round pick that they really wanted, obviously. And like Connor McDavid is a save. He saves a franchise, and I without Connor McDavid, Edmonton Oilers would have been the Utah hockey team, not the Arizona. Like I said, the Arizona Coyotes would have been somewhere else after a while. After just saying enough's enough with it's not working out in Arizona, so you know, like that could have been the Edmonton Oilers without Connor McDavid. I mean, you know, he's just and that like the Buffalo Sabres would have been a team to watch when they're on the road, quote unquote, because like like the television would have followed, and being an East Division American on the Eastern Standard Time. Connor McDavid on the Philadelphia Flyers, Connor McDavid on the New York Jets. Sorry, the New York Rangers, or New Jersey Devils, or Carolina Hurricane, or especially if it were the Florida teams, the Tampa Bays. Like the cameras would have been following Connor McDavid, and they would have been such a good road show. That, like, you know, well, like it's just a circumstance where Edmonton and Calgary and Winnipeg, they're in a different time zone. Oh, and I don't even know what to think. If Connor McDavid somehow, if the Winnipeg Jets had the first round selection, and they pick Connor, of course they're going to pick Connor McDavid. The Winnipeg Jets would have been like that. He would have saved the Winnipeg Jets too as a franchise. It would have been a stability right now that the Winnipeg Jets would have been stable to stay in such a small market like Winnipeg, the city of Winnipeg and environs, as they say. So that's the thing about you can't it goes back to the Daniel Jones. You just can't say we're gonna tank. They could lose draft picks. Losing draft picks when you're trying to get Connor McDavid is not a good idea. Losing draft picks when you're the New York Giants and you're trying to get a chance to a quarterback to replace Daniel Jones when you got in the upcoming draft. You don't want an email floating around in your organization, because remember, that's part of that would be part of that organization. That's the New York Giants. It's not like it's a person's own individual email, and really tough to find. Like they would have to have a court order, quote unquote, to get their personal email, and and it's like, wait, and a judge would have to be like, wait, we're gonna do what crime was committed? Like, what's the crime? Like, like what precedent do we have to that someone's personal email, and but using the email of the organization. And that's anyone out there that works out there that has an email account with the company. The email account is to. I'm just saying, Sylvester is like. It's the reality that people learned the hard way when email first came out, and I remember saying that back when I was employed, and it's like I had, I had an email account and it belonged to the corporation, you know. And I said these words. That's not my email account. And one person, this is fresh. Email is fresh, new idea. One person was like, because they didn't have an email account with the corporation, and they said, no, you could. He wasn't trying to get me in trouble. Just said, no, that's your email account. You can do whatever you want. You can write whatever you want. They can't do anything. I said, no, it doesn't work that way. My own email account, personal email account. No, you need a court order. What exactly is the crime committed that justifies that we need to see that person's email account? And you know, but when it comes to a corporate, it's theirs. They could just ask this. And I said to that person, they could just pull up the server and look up the email and whatever. And there's nothing like you don't put things that you regret seeing in an email if it's corporate. And that's the thing with the Daniel Jones and they're not going to say tank. But the thing was, I remember this person was hearing all this, a third person, neutral on this, a very intelligent person, and I said, you know what? Let's just ask. I'll ask someone. I go, hey, do you mind? Like I said, do you mind getting involved in this nonsensical conversation here? And I said, whose email is it? Is it mine or the corporation's? And the person just goes, it's corporations. Just drop it to the other person. And I go, thank you. Yeah, just drop it. No, because if you get a chance and you get your own email account in the corporation, no, it's not your email account. Don't start thinking that you can start like going off about sports. Nah, I'm like, no. Even back then, I knew a sports nut. I'm like, no, don't. Like, you look at the time the email was sent. It's like I tried to explain it again after, like later on. Like I said, well, here's the things. Like, you look at the time the emails were sent. Now they were sent on company time. They were sent on company time. So it's like they could claim that I'm wasting company time talking about sports, and that's the thing. You have to be ahead of the situation, and you got to know. And in this day and age, people learn from other people's mistakes, and there's no way they're going to say the word tank. Tank is not an option to say in an email that's company owned. And the reason I say email, because obviously you're not going to put Twitter and whatever it's called now. I don't get into all these different, the time, I don't get into all these social media things. I don't care about anything else but YouTube. That's it. I'm done and over. And email, that's it. My personal email. And of course, you don't give your personal email to anybody except people you want to email to and you want the people to respond to. Now, being said all that, now, I don't do. I could set up a sports news review email, and I'm not one of those email farmers. Like, I'm looking for people's email. I don't want people's email. I don't comments, and whatever. Okay, so like I said earlier, is that this is just me saying this, and people calling in on the sports talk radio, the WFANs of the New York Giants tanking with this is totally different than I'm saying than NFL news. It's a free-flowing format when you don't have a script, and all thanks to the tablet was down to 0%. 0%. Let me see. It's been charging this whole time, and I have to use a charger that doesn't really like the cord. I can't find. I lost. When I moved, I lost the cord and I got the plug. I lost the cord to that tablet, and sometimes cords match. The cord and the plug match, and this is one of those cases where this tablet doesn't matter what plug. Like this tablet here, it doesn't matter what plug I use. It's fine. I use you use this one could put a dollar mark USB cord in and plug it in, and it's fine. The newer one, oh no, it tells you check your connection. We don't like it. It'll still charge it up because it's gonna take. It says it'll take longer than usual, which I don't care. It just happened. It's my fault. I left it on. I forgot about recharging it. So let's see. It's on all this time. Oh, nice. Okay. It's gonna be. It's on 71%. The other tablet, the good tablet, the newer one, it's on 71%. It took. It's not gonna fully charge for a few an hour or two, but it doesn't matter because I'm not. It's gonna be for tomorrow's script with World Sports News with Ernie, and I'm gonna. Yeah, I'll be doing a script for that, and it's gonna be free, not free flowing like this, and it's just gonna be strictly scripted. You know what I mean? And yeah, so like I said, yeah, so I get into that whole tablet thing too. I'm an old person, and these tablets become so valuable to if every. It's nice to have tablets to do a live stream, and who cares that it says one view, like one person, like when I do my live streams, this one. I put the tablet in a distance away so I can hear that it's working because I don't have the mic. I don't have the system where you put the headphones on and you know that it's working because you can hear your voice again on the headphones. But for me, it's like I could put the tablet with the headphones on. Yeah, I could do that too because you can't you don't want the tablet with the volume up near the microphone that you're using because in this case it's the built-in mic. It just the reverb. It's just constant reverbs and it's just repeats over and over, and then it's just a loud whistling sound when it gets stuck in a reverb and it sounds awful. Feedback. Where's rock and roll without feedback, eh? Rock and roll is mostly feedback. Without feedback and reverb, there's no rock and roll, man. You can have your unplugged, like your acoustic, but the average, like 90% of the time, rock and roll is all feedback, distortion. I should have said, the old story of how the person started with a pencil and punching the hole and making a rip in the speaker to get that reverb and get that distortion and rock and roll. There's rock and roll. There's the start. There's the birth of rock and roll. A ripped speaker cone paper at that time. A ripped paper speaker cone is the start of rock and roll. Yeah, that's funny. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, yeah, they become invaluable as valuable tools. These tablets, and even if it's one you can use to look up all your information. Your phone is. I don't like using my phone. Is really old too. Like, it's very old. I don't even. I stopped putting stuff on it because it doesn't even handle new. I can't even. I couldn't even bet. I can't even bet on it. All the betting apps won't work. The betting apps wouldn't work. Not that I want to, but betting apps won't even work on my phone because it's so old. It's a smartphone, but it's an old smartphone, and I don't need more than just a phone. Phone and email. That's all I can use it for. Phone and email and text. Phone, text, email. That's it. That's it. That's all. That's final. So yeah. Okay, let's go to the Pro Bowl. They're gonna do the Pro Bowl. This will be the last story, and then we'll end it at 2:30. Minute left. Okay, 1 minute. It's only the Pro Bowl announcement that the two brothers, Eli Manning, Peyton Manning, will once again be coaches of the flag football team. And now this free form flow, like if it was just the scripted news, it would have just ended there. But maybe I'll go a little bit longer now because I'm going to say this one last time, and I don't want to repeat myself over and over in the future videos I do, but maybe I'll do it in live streams. There's different live streams when you're trying to fill space on a live stream. You bring up old stories. But for me, the Pro Bowl, Sylvester, you understand this. If you're a certain age, the Pro Bowl used to be the game after the Super Bowl, and it was just that last feeling of like, oh, okay, we see NFL players, and it used to be in Hawaii, so that was the incentive. Like, why did the players go to the Pro Bowl back in the day? Because it was a trip to Hawaii, and I think they got to bring their family too. So, it was a different world. Like, you're talking 1980s and 84. Let's just say 1984 Pro Bowl. Okay, I want to see that. That's why it's good to have these second tablets and look up information. 1984 Pro Bowl. By today's standards, we would not believe, why are they doing this? And you might have a person out there that's, and you notice that they weren't playing as much as they used to, but there's like, you gotta be kidding me. Why would you even why would you risk injury? But back then it was they were actually interested in more. Let's see, 1984 Pro Bowl. Oh, just a year that just. Let's go with the Pro Bowl roster. Oh, of course, Joe Theismann, quarterback. They just went for the free trip, and you see them with either their blue football jersey or the red football jersey, and one team will say AFC, and they, of course, the light is always that they wore their helmet, so you knew a team that was represented, and they wore the helmet to the game. 1984 Pro Bowl, and what a different world that was. And it was you know what's crazy, that was the 34th Pro Bowl, and that was 1984. Okay, that was crazy. I didn't realize it was the annual All-Star game, and featuring the outstanding performers of the 1983/84 season. The game was contested teams in the National Football Conference, and it was played on January the 29th, the weekend, because Aloha Stadium in Honolulu, Hawaii. And the weird part was, this one was the NFC won the game 45-3. Okay, Bill Walsh, San Francisco 49ers, was the head coach of the NFC, and Chuck Knox was the coach of the AFC. That time, the Seattle Seahawks were at the AFC. Chuck Knox was also on the Steelers. Chuck Knox was also coach of the coach of the Buffalo Bills. And the whole thing is that this year's Pro Bowl once again will be flag football, and the Manning brothers will each coach. And I'm surprised they just don't. Just, you know what? Just you should just use anyone instead of actual players. Have the players go. They should put it back in Hawaii. Have the players, that not play in the game, but have those luau's. Just bring back the fun like that. The MVP was Joe Theismann. Okay, you're maybe I don't know if you won a car back in the day. I can't remember. The AFC roster. Let's go with this AFC roster. Okay, let's see. Quarterback, Dan Fouts, San Diego. I was still a San Diego Charger fan until '86. Yeah. Running back. Okay, Kurt Warner in Seattle. This is okay. Okay. Oh, the reserves. Oh, here it is. Okay, quarterback. Okay, the starter. They said that. Okay, so Dan Fouts started from San Diego Chargers. Then I didn't realize this. The reserves. Bill Kenny. I didn't even know Bill Kenny. Ooh, wow. Dan Marino, Miami. I've watched Dan Fouts and I watched Dan Marino. I don't remember Bill Kenny of Kansas City. That's the reserve quarterbacks. AFC. Running back. Kurt Warner, Seattle. Yes, Kurt Warner. It's not the way you're thinking, folks. I understand. Okay. That was a Kurt Warner, Penn State. I didn't look him up. I know from just back in the day. I was, Penn State University. Okay, Earl Campbell reserve. Poor Earl Campbell. Okay, Earl Campbell. Okay, in today's world, it would be. Oh my gosh, um, the running back for the Tennessee Titans, and used to. And the previous year it was on the. Um, oh, Tennessee Titans. No, sorry, Baltimore Ravens. He was on Tennessee Titans last year. I can't remember his name right now, but everybody, the NFL football world, you know what I'm talking about. But Earl Campbell was him. Like they were the power running backs that Earl Campbell paid for in life after. Joe Cribbs from Buffalo. Okay. Then they had a fullback, for whatever reason. Tony Collins from New England. The wide receivers. Okay. Remember this one, Sylvester? Mark Duper, Miami. Yes. Number 80 from Cincinnati. And anybody knows this one because he does Sunday Night Football. Chris Collingsworth. And here was the reserves. Wes Chandler from San Diego, good quarterback. John Stallworth, excellent wide receiver for Pittsburgh back in the day. Any Pittsburgh fan will know who John Stallworth is, of course. And then tight end. At the time was the LA Raiders. Todd Christensen. Kellen Winslow for San Diego. I remember that. He was the great Anthony Munoz on offensive tackles. The great Anthony Munoz for Cincinnati. And then the other ones, they're not household names like Anthony Munoz. Okay, but then it was John Hanna, New England. See, Anthony Munoz and John Hanna, outstanding names at that time. Center Mike Webster. If you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, you must know who Mike Webster is. Party heritage. Okay, and Miami, Dwight Stevenson was really good too. And then the defense. Mark Gastineau, New York Jets. Howie Long, LA Raiders. At the time, it was LA Raiders. Okay, and then Fred Smerlis, Buffalo. There it is, Joe Klecko, New York Jets. Rod Martin, the LA Raiders. That was a good. Okay, if you're a Raiders fan and you're a certain age, you remember Rod Martin. And actually, I think if I remember correctly, if you're a Cowboys fan, you remember that Rod Martin went to the Cowboys, or is that Harvey Martin? I can't. Okay, let's go back. Okay, LA Raiders. Of course, if you're a Raider, hey, every Raider is a Raider forever. Ted Hendricks. And inside linebacker, they got Jack Lambert. Yeah. Okay. And then cornerback. Corner. Cornerback. Lester Hayes. LA. He was good. He was really good at the time. At that time, yeah. I remember that name, Jerron Cherry, Kansas City. Okay, so we'll go the special teams. The punter was Rich Camarillo, New England. I know that one. Place kicker. If you're a Pittsburgh, it's part of your heritage. You got to know this one. Gary Anderson. Kick returner, Greg Pruitt. Okay, now the NFC roster. Okay, let's go with the NFC roster. Quarterback, Joe Theismann. Reserve was Joe Montana, San Francisco. How come there's only two? They should have had four, because that's it. Just 1, 2. Should have 4 because each one should just play a quarter and that's it. That's good enough. Okay, running back. Well, for the person that, once again, you like your LA Rams and you want to know in the history, you might come across this name, Eric Dickerson, LA Rams running back. And at the time, running back, 1983, well, it was the 84 Pro Bowl, Mr. Walter Payton, Chicago. Tony Dorsett, Dallas. Okay, fullback William Andrews. Fullbacks, wide receivers. Now this was a big deal back in the day. I remember that. Roy Green, St. Louis. Yeah, that was a big. He was good. He was really good. Uh, Mike Quick. Eagle fans, even if you're young, you gotta know who Mike Quick is. It's part of your heritage. Believe it or not, I remember now. Charlie Brown, Washington Redskins. I don't know if he was one of the Smurfs. They call him the Smurfs. Okay, I forget now. James Lofton, Green Bay. James Lofton went on the Bills later. Yeah, Hall of Fame Hall of Fame wide receiver, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure he's in the Hall of Fame. Okay, tight end they're not household names. Man, Doug Crosby, it's alright. Okay, but offensive tackle, he's part of the Hogs. Joe Jacoby, Washington, and L.A. Ram great Jackie Slater. Okay. Oh, offensive guard, another Hog, Russ Grimm, Washington. And the other ones really household names. And Jeff Bostic was Washington. Yeah, that's another Hog center. Yeah, that was because they were part of the Hogs. Now defensive end, Ed Jones. Wait, I'm gonna watch. Wow, Ed. They called him Ed Too Tall Jones back in the day. Yeah. And here's one Tampa Bay, because Tampa Bay, it was it. But they had Leroy Selman. That's pretty well. There was some notable Tampa Bay. If you are Tampa Bay, you have to know your start was pretty. It was pretty weird. The old sombrero they played in, of course. This previous stadium, and Okay, Fred Dean, defensive end. Ed Jones. Okay, we got that. Defensive tackle, Randy White, Dallas. Dave Butts, Washington. Yeah, those. Your one Detroit line standout, Doug English. It was a different one. Outside linebacker. No Jet fans. I'm sorry, no New York Giants fan you have to know this if you're young. It's part of the heritage of being a Giants fan. Lawrence Taylor. And outside linebacker Ricky Jackson, New Orleans. Yeah, I think Ricky Jackson passed away. Yeah, we even mentioned them on Sports News Review. Okay. Emerson Walls, cornerback for Dallas. Ronnie Lott, San Francisco. Ronnie Lott, big name back in the day, San Francisco. Okay. And free safety, not really. I'm not gonna just not really household names like we know nowadays. The punter was Carl Birdsong. Okay, this one had a short-lived career, but he was the place kicker, so he must have had a really good year for the New York Giants. Ali Haji Sheik. I still remember that name on the back of the shirt, Haji Sheik. And the kick returner, this is a fun kick returner. Billy White Shoes Johnson. It was a big Sylvester. It was weird how it was a big deal that someone wearing white shoes was. You got the name Billy White Shoes Johnson because he was wearing white. And now it's like, it was just that he came out with white shoes and he made a big deal about it. Like, oh my gosh! Nowadays we just go, okay, different world, of course. But and then there was just it was just the time and the place and seeing and then when the Pro Bowl ended, you knew that okay, that was it for the football. And of course, I'm still a young where I'm buying Sporting News in August, and I waited till Sporting News for me anyways. I still have the I don't know where that magazine is, but I kept it for so long and somehow I lost it. The 1980s, I can't remember what year it is. I forgot what year it was, but it's in August. Sporting News, and it was all about football and the upcoming season. And on the cover was quarterback Brian Sipe of the Cleveland Browns. I know it. It's so iconic. I still see that. I still see that cover. Sporting News. There's Brian Sipe trying to throw the ball, and he's grabbed by the. They still, you can see it being grabbed by a defender, and they had a team I used to just like Sylvester, like I had that magazine. I read it over and like a couple of times. Like I brought that magazine everywhere with me, and like this, like it was 1984. I brought that magazine everywhere with me, and like it was just weird. Like how people would bring a book with them. I brought the Sporting News and the team by team analysis for the upcoming season, and they showed the schedule, of course, and they had like individual players. They had a profile, and their and of course you got your Joe Theismann's were mentioned in that magazine, of course, and it was like I said, it was a totally. I come from a different world, and I guess people like me, we want. I can't. I guess we can't put it in a bottle and sell it. Like the feeling. You gotta live through the experience to just understand it. You could look at NFL films. You could watch games. But if you didn't live the experience, you just don't know the significance of little things like here and there and right now, like when I mentioned I wrap off names and that. Now, like an Earl Campbell, well, it would be the Tennessee Titans because that was at the time Houston Oilers, and like he's like royalty when it comes to like Houston Oilers. Like you got your royalty on every team of knowing back of just like there's an expression I use of like they were just the Mark Gastineaus, they had a presence about them, and it was unexplainable, the presence of Mark Gastineau. And of course, a lot of people hated Mark Gastineau with the sack dance. Every time you had a sack, oh, the New York Sack Exchange. No, it comes back to me. I swear, I didn't look. See the tablet. I didn't look up on the tablet. I wasn't cheating. I just remembered now. It was the New York Sack Exchange. Now, Joe Klecko, Marty Lyons, Gastineau, and of course, Gastineau, and Abdul Salam was the fourth one. Yeah, and it was. I remember Joe Klecko said they only wanted him and Mark Gastineau on that photo with the New York Sack Exchange, but Gastineau said no, sorry, Marty Lyons, sorry, Joe Klecko, he's in an interview saying no, I wanted Abdul Salam and Marty Lyons also because teams had to focus on all four of us, and you didn't know which one was going to get like he said that without the other two, that then if we didn't have Marty Lyons and Abdul Salam, then you only have to focus on those two, and he said he wouldn't be the player he is possibly. You don't know. You know what I mean? So like Joe Klecko was always a team first player, and so that's just who he was. That was just the way he was. So I mean, I guess, well, I guess it's time to end this video. It's been 2 hours, 50 minutes, and I it's kind of like a testament I'm writing doing now, Sylvester, where you're so patient, Sylvester. Just listening. You don't tell me to okay end it, wrap it up, and all that. But it's a testament that to like I throw a year for no apparent reason, Sylvester. Like when it's the year 2035, I want to be able to play this. For a young person that's growing up in 2035, that's say like born in 1920. So yeah, I mean 1920, 30s, 1930, they're 10 years old, and yeah, come across this channel, and it was just a different world. I just happened to be in that world where you were, if you were an NFL fan like I was, and I'm like, just the way I talk, you could tell how I was like the super NFL fan, and it's easy to be that person now because the way you can get the information, we didn't have the internet. We watched highlights on what was it say like if highlights like during the halftime of the second game. Oh, here's the highlights from the previous game. And you didn't. You can only get it on like NFL Today on CBS, or if Channel 2, like what was it, like your Channel 2s is NBC usually. Channel 7s across the United States of America was usually ABCs, and Channel 4s were the CBSs. Like there's a lot of Channel 4s, there's a lot of Channel 2s and Channel 7s, but the weird part is I used to catch Erie, Pennsylvania too. Also, I should say, Erie, Pennsylvania. WICU, I think, was number 12 on the dial for NBC. They used to, I think they were doing Cleveland Brown games or Pittsburgh Steelers games more than anything. They were like right into that because they were so close, Erie, Pennsylvania, eh? And it was nice to catch like those stations to get a different perspective on other teams out there, and we just didn't have the internet. We did not have the internet, and and the last thing I'll say, and it's part of NFL history, and just part of the knowing NFL history, and like I said, it happened to be at the right time, at the right place, at the right moment. The George Michael Sports Machine syndicated show. I only could see it like because it just happened to be when my area was at like late at night, 11:30 after the news, and the George Michael Sports Machine was half an hour. And I'd only watch the George Michael Sports Machine mostly during the NFL season. And you would have the highlights of all the day's game, because the only thing left was the Monday Night Football. And he'd be in the studio with, looks like a giant VCR, I think it was. He'd pretend to be pushing buttons like play and that. And because you had videotape, the back in the day. And by the way, they used Betamax. just a little sidebar. Beta was better than VHS. Professionals used Beta, and the average person, that's the whole VHS. And one of those things I regret is not recording more football games. I got a few tapes with football games on it from back in the day, and one of the last ones I have is I did was because I went to go see the game in Buffalo was the 1990 or 2000. It would have been the year 2000 season where the Bills' first game of the season just happened to be against the Tennessee Titans, the revenge game from the previous year, the touchback throwback, and I went to that game and it was crazy, wild, and I taped it. And you know, I got it on VHS. I still have it. I still have two VHS machines, but I never play them. I never put them out and anything like that. And it's just like one of these days, just like the VHS machines are in storage, and the VHS tapes are in storage right now, like my personal storage, and like to be able one day to plug in the VHS machine and put the tape in and just I know you could probably watch this game on YouTube, but it's just not the same. It's like playing an album instead of just listening to it on, like, say, going on YouTube and say like your favorite band, whatever it is. And you go on YouTube. You can go on a person can go on YouTube and listen to it. But it's the equivalent of watching it on a VHS tape is the equivalent of playing it on an album or a vinyl album. I mean it's the same kind of as I say, the vinyl and the tape is the same. The magnetic tape for the VHS, and it's got the same feel to me of it. And even though it's on a cassette tape, like cassettes are the new thing for me. Where I got all my cassettes and it's like I find it like what records are so hard. Albums, they're so hard to keep and collect. Cassettes are so easy. As long as they stay out of the sun. That's all. Just don't ever put your cassette tapes in the sun. In the back dash. I lost a few in the back, when they were in the back dash. I forgot them there. And next thing you know, they're like, poof! And they're pulling up. There goes that cassette tape. And I lost the good ones. I lost some really good ones, like the Jimi Hendrix one. I still can't believe. I might have got stolen on me for all I know. I had a Jimi Hendrix cassette tape with the plastic was like the beginnings of like the really old plastic thing. It was all really old plasticky. And it opened like a lunchbox, and it didn't open like a cassette tape we know of today. Like the back, you fold, lift up, and that. And I just it's like a museum piece to put one of that, and it was. I don't know. You lose things like that in life, and you obtain things, and I know. I just I'm an old person, and just I don't know. I just I don't know. Do I want to go back in that time? I guess I guess when I did Sylvester, and I feel good about everything. I just feel content, Sylvester. I feel content. I'm gonna watch television now for a few hours, and whatever. And oh my gosh, I'm gonna go see if I'm probably gonna miss the bowl game. Okay, so Coach Coyote's watching the bowl game right now. I'm missing the bowl game. Okay. I'm just saying. Okay, anyways. No, it's not a bowl game. No, it's something to do with the wagon wheel or something like that. There's two teams. Kent State. Well, of course, I heard the words Kent State. I understand Kent State. Kent State is infamous for what happened with the protesters. And they got shot at. And the whole controversy, of course, with the National Guard and what happened there. It's just a protest, the Vietnam War protest, and no one should die. I don't care what your politics is, but no one should die. No one should have to die. when you're unarmed and peaceful and all that. I'm not taking sides. I'm not taking sides at all. But when it comes to death, it's not funny no more. There's no taking sides when it comes to death. It's someone, you know, it was just, it was probably horrible. That one, it was, you know, I remember it shook the world. Like, college students dying, and Kent State, Ohio, is in Ohio, and it still resonates with people my age and years younger. And I don't know. I mean, I don't even. I don't know why. If I went to that game, the Kent State University, if that's the Kent State University, where that's the game that was being played today,